What's up, MMA world slash UFC world, because they're the only one hosting fights right now. Thank you, Dana. But yeah, we fucking first podcast. This is episode number 5, and we finally get to talk about some live fights.
Yeah, it's been an odd time. Well, I suppose it's been the perfect time to start a podcast because we're sitting at home, but it's been an odd time starting a podcast because there's been no fights going on.
Yeah, so there's been nothing to talk about.
This is the first week, so we have a serious card ahead of us, as I'm pretty sure everybody knows, because it's the only live sport event going on. So this is big business for the UFC. This is the biggest business opportunity they've had in a long time, I think.
What do you think? What's the potential gate? You know, like this could be the biggest ever, just because there's no live sport. Like
the gate.
Yeah, I mean,
there's no crowd, man.
Say that again.
There's no crowd. There's no gate.
Sorry, what am I talking about? Not gate. What are the pay-per-view sales? That's what I meant.
Oh, sorry. Well, it used to be the straight pay-per-view sales, but now it's done via the ESPN app or something like that. So I don't think it's quite trackable. I don't know if like the actual figures of sales are released anymore. They used to be, but right. I'm not sure if they are anymore. But you can be guaranteed this is going to do big traffic, I'd say. I was watching the countdown, and the countdown had done like a couple of million views in, or I think 1.5 million views in less than a day or something. So
yeah,
that's trending well.
Well, that's what I mean. Though, like surely this is going to attract like any person who's a fan of sport. You know, like this is the only live sporting event like since UFC Brasilia.
Yeah,
like since Lee and Oliveira.
Yeah.
So
I've had people reach out to me over the last couple of days, and I'm delighted about it. And I'd love to think it's because of the podcast, but it definitely isn't. It's I've had people reach out to me that I would never thought would watch fights, or be interested in fights, or are fans of fights, or just people I didn't know were fans of fights. And I'm fucking delighted to be chatting some scraps to people. So it's cool. Yeah. I didn't know there was kind of so many fans. I thought I was a bit more of a loner than I am, which is good.
Well, there's a lot of casual fans, you know, and that's the thing, which is fine. You know, there's no problem in following it loosely. But yeah, it's just similar. I sent my latest article that I've written for Overtime Heroics. Sent that into one of the boys' WhatsApp groups, and Matt Berube and Ryan caught a big gambling guys. So I was like, yeah, here's a couple of scraps that you need to put money on. Yeah, it was the odds. Like, I don't want to get into it right now because we're going to obviously go through it. So yeah, why don't we start? So we'll start at the bottom of the main event with Greg Hardy and Yorgan de Castro. So what's your thinking on that one?
I think Dara D Fitz shout out to the homie. I think he summed it up very well when he said, this is literally Greg Hardy versus Sacrificial Lamb. And Yorgan de Castro doesn't even have a Wikipedia page. It says it all. They're literally just cartwheeling, you know. Well, in theory, you know, MMA, but they're cartwheeling a body towards Greg Hardy, you know. So
I don't know. Initially, you know, I'd never heard of him when this fight was booked initially, but having, you know, done some research on him and you know, looking into him and you know, finding what I could online, he's got some tools, you know, and like he's a massive heavyweight anyway, you know what I mean? Like he's not very tall, but the size of him, you know, like he's bigger than Mark Hunt, as an example. You know, we all know Mark Hunt isn't exactly a technically gifted striker by any means, but like he'll shut your lights out. And I think the Castro's got the exact same. Well, not that they're similar, but he's got.
I got to correct you there on something. Mark Hunt was a K1 champion and one of the most technical strikers the heavyweight division has ever seen. How dare you show disrespect to Mark Hunt like that, you fucking hairy imbecile.
How often did he show it? That's what I mean.
What? How many walk-off KOs does that motherfucker have?
Yeah, but that was pure fucking power.
And perfect technique.
All right, fair enough. You got me on that one. Regardless, I think de Castro, I think a lot of people are writing him off without having any sort of information on him.
True.
And I think that, you know, if he can utilize the leg kick, body kick that he's shown throughout. I mean, he's only been a professional fighter for like 5 years now. And interestingly enough, he came in as an amateur at 1-2. So like he lost twice as an amateur, and then he's since gone undefeated, winning. I think he's won 5 out of 6 by first round knockout, or it's either 4 out of 5 or 5 out of 6 by first round knockout. So I think like given that matchup, like the two of them are going to be trying to knock each other out, and it could very much go either way in that. I don't think that's some fucking easy fight that they made for Hardy. I think that Castro is a genuine threat and could very, very easily knock him out.
Yeah, I mean, they are both 5-0. So,
yeah. Well, the big difference there that you'll see is the height and the reach. That's a significant. Yeah, he's got Hardy's 4 inches taller.
The one big difference that I'm noticing is Yorgan de Castro's titties, bro.
Oh, fuck! They
Look
are
at them
two
bad
big boys, aren't they?
My goodness, I tell you what, Greg Hardy's looking for milk. He's got the right fucking contract fight.
Fucking hell. Please God, I hope to God they don't grapple. Could you imagine that fucking shit show? Just fucking like just fat flying all over the fucking octagon. They're sweating on each other. God damn it.
His nickname's the Mad Titan. Just
fucking, I mean, it's fitting, but yeah. So I still have Hardy. I still have Hardy in that one, not by a large amount, but the Castro. I mean, I would love to see the Castro knock Hardy out. That would be fucking great, because there goes any bit of popularity. I mean, he's not the most likable human being on the planet, as we all know, old Greg Hardy, but I think most people tune in, as you've said before, to watch him lose. So if he loses against said Yorgan de Castro, who doesn't have a wiki page, then it's a fucking bad look, isn't it?
Yeah, it's not great. So this is the first fight that we're doing an official pick for. So we said that we'd do a kind of a competition throughout the year and see who could outlast the other. So our scoring criteria for anyone that's interested in doing this with us, or interested in following us as we progress, this will probably be about the most competitive thing you've ever seen unfold. We're doing 3 points for fighter and 3 points for method. So that being submission, KO, TKO, or decision. We're not picking rounds. We're just going fighter and method, and we're doing 3 points and 3 points. So, what's your first official pick, Neil Vorster? And also, before we make any picks, we need to discuss the wager, because whoever has the most points when we hit the 1st of January 2021 will reset. But when we hit there, and that's a long time, right? So this is going to be a serious wager.
If you win, all right. Yeah, you've got to think of something. But if you win, I will get you I will pay for the ticket for the next New York City event, UFC event.
Okay, that's not bad. Yeah. Okay.
That's not bad. He said. I can see how excited you're getting over there.
Well, I mean, then let's flip it in reverse. You beat me, I'll pay for your ticket, whatever event it is. And let's get some damn good tickets, whatever the next event is, because this UFC, the real UFC 249, April 18th, that was supposed to be in Brooklyn, got taken away from us, and we didn't deserve it. We deserve better.
All right. So anyway, in terms of pick, I'm going to go with Hardy. I have no confidence in that whatsoever. I really don't. I'm going to go with him. I think it's going to end early. I'm going to go with a first round knockout for Hardy. That said, I actually think there's a very strong chance that goes to 3 rounds. And the only reason I say that is because typically when these heavyweight fights come about, it's either a first round knockout or it's a shit, boring fucking slugfest where neither in the connect, or they just look at each other for the 3 rounds. And that could very well happen. They may be very, very cautious of each other's power, and they may end up looking at each other each other for 3 rounds.
Segues perfectly to my pick. So I'm going with Hardy as well because he's bigger and he's definitely more terrifying looking, minus the tits. But I'm going for him by decision. I think he's going to win a sloppy decision to open the main card. It's going to be disappointing, I think, this fight to open the main card. Potentially, you never know. You never know. But keep in mind the fight before this is Pettis and Cerrone.
Yeah.
So it's very likely that this is a slow, sluggish, kind of a sloppy scrap, and I can see it. I can see them both kind of fumbling to a decision. So I'm going Hardy by decision.
That's a good pick. I think I actually prefer yours, but I'm going to stick with mine anyway. But yeah, I'm not overly excited for that fight, and I reckon that's probably the one with the least importance across the card. So, next up we've got Jeremy Stephens and Calvin Kattar. Is it Kattar or Kattar? I have no idea how he pronounces his last name.
Kattar, I believe. Calvin Kattar. But that's I'm only saying that because that's how I've heard other people say that. So they could be saying it wrong, and therefore I could be saying it wrong. And now you're going to start saying it wrong.
Speaking of sacrificial lambs, I think fucking Jeremy Stephens is a sacrificial lamb because Kattar is
called Jeremy Stephens a sacrificial lamb though ever because he's good enough to he could win this fight
absolutely, of course he could, but I think Kattar is so much better pretty much everywhere he goes in the fight. I don't know. I don't like Stephens' chances at all in this scrap. Put it that way. I don't think he beats Kattar at all.
Kattar is Kattar is talented. This is probably if I was a betting man, I had to put money down here on the card as to what's the fight of the card. It's razor close for me between the main event and this one. This one's not getting talked about at all because obviously it's way down the card. It's not as big a fight, whatever. But anyone that's tuned in for this full card, when these two come out, you're in for an absolute barn burner. 3 rounds as well. They're both gonna absolutely fucking go for it. It's gonna be a serious scrap. This fight.
Yeah.
Do not leave the room when this is on.
Yeah, big time. I think Kattar is so well rounded technically on the feet. I think he can beat you up in a number of different ways. And Stephens has typically struggled against good, well-rounded strikers, unless he's knocked them out. And yeah, I mean, look at the records there. Stephens has lost a lot. Keep in mind, I don't think, looking at the stats there, I don't think Kattar is going to, violently knock him out. But I think he will dominate over 3 rounds. And, unless there's I think it'd be a pretty big surprise if Steven wins that. But we all know if Steven wins, it's probably going to be a TKO or KO. So, I'm going with Kattar on that one. The decision, I think he'll win unanimously.
Okay, right, yeah. I'm picking the same. We're either both gonna get 6 points or 3 points or no points there. So,
it is dangerous. You can't, like exactly what you said. You can't write off Stephens at all. I genuinely think he's going to get slaughtered, but I don't. If anyone's going to come up with a surprise knockout at that weight class, I think it's going to be Jeremy Stephens.
Yeah, true. That is, that is something that's happened many occasions before, and on very big cards before. I remember he knocked out Dennis Bermudez. God, I fucking blanked on his name there for a second. Dennis Bermudez at UFC 189 just before Roy McDonald and Robbie Lawler. That's another fight that goes under the radar because Roy McDonald and Robbie Lawler was so crazy. That Dennis Bermudez Jeremy Stephens fight doesn't get looked at. That fight was fucking bananas, man. That was awesome. But yeah, he's done it before and he's done it on the big stage, and now he's again on the main card of a fucking very big stage. So don't be surprised. But yeah, I'm going with the same.
Well, another big one that you forgot to mention was when he knocked out Duo Choi. Remember? And like Duo Choi went 3 rounds with Swanson, and everyone was talking about his chin, and then British, if I can remember correctly, Stephens shut his lights out. And that was somebody who was, like at the time, Duo Choi was talked about as like the next kind of prospect in the division. then had that incredible scrap with Cub Swanson, and since then, isn't he on like military duty
Yeah,
now or something
military
like
leave. I
that?
think
Yeah,
he's due
so,
back soon. He must be due back soon. He's been gone a while, I think. He was
yeah.
very young when he was fighting Cub Swanson. He was like
Well, yeah,
23 years old.
yeah. I think he's definitely a little older than he looks, but yeah, I mean that's just another example of like what Jeremy Stevens can do if he's up for it. But yeah, I just think Kattar is too clean for him. I think he's too technically sound. I don't think Kattar will get hit with that big, that big overhand right that Stevens carries. So yeah. Anyway, moving on. Who we got next, Doyle?
I'll tell you who we have next. We have some absolute
We have some big
terrifying
boys.
motherfuckers in the next fight, man.
We got some big boys.
Yeah, literally. Jairzinho, Biggie Boy, Rozenstuik, and Francis the Predator Ngannou. Have you ever seen a more terrifying lineup of individuals? Even the two of them looking like just lined up side by side. Like, good God, what's going to happen when the cage closes up behind these two?
Yeah, that is. Well, again, I'm even more fearful of this one being a terrible fight. I really am. And
Yeah.
we've already seen that with Ngannou and Lewis. That was one of the worst fights I've ever seen in my life. And they were two top 5 heavyweight contenders at the time, and that was just awful.
So I've gone back. I had the same fear until today, but I went back and I watched a couple of Jairzinho's fights, and that motherfucker comes to bang, and he will go after Francis. And if someone's going after Francis, Francis doesn't run, like he'll engage if someone's coming at him. So I don't think this is going to be boring at all. I think it's going to be bananas. And
Well, it has the makings of being like one of the great heavyweight fights. I feel everyone's sleeping on Yair as well, which is crazy. I feel like
what you call him, Yair?
Yeah, what's it? Is it how does he pronounce it?
Jairzinho.
Jairzinho.
You motherfucker! I gotta get a highlight you fucking names up on here. I think.
For anyone who doesn't know, I'm verbally dyslexic, and it causes me trouble sometimes. But yeah, so I mean, he's got a legit kickboxing background. Like he's a monster in his own rights, and everyone's just writing him off because of Ngannou's KO power. But fucking Rozenstruik has the same KO power. So we've seen that. I mean, Orlovsky's done. Like we've seen that. Overeem, you could say to a certain degree, like his chin just isn't there anymore. But I mean, that shot that he landed on Overeem, like if he lands on an Ngannou, like we've never really seen Ngannou get.
No, we haven't. We've never seen Ngannou get cracked.
Yet, So
yeah,
I think didn't Stipe hurt him a bit? I can't.
He cracked him. He never dropped him or put him out or anything like that. He cracked him all right, but never really. Yeah, Francis just took it and looked at him like, fuck.
So anyway,
anyways, I'm about to get controversial here with this one. I'm picking Jairzinho Rozenstruik in this one, and I'm picking him by KO, and probably quickly.
Wow.
Yeah, and probably within the first two. Francis is extremely powerful, but so is Jairzinho. Francis is 265, bigger than 265, right? Very long reach, as we saw there, right? 83-inch reach. Very loopy shots. Throws a lot of left rear uppercuts. A lot of left rear uppercuts. Now, that's the shot that he hit Aleksei Overeem with, nearly killed him. That's what he's famous for, right? But it's also a shot that gets him hit a lot. Right? Jairzinho Rozenstruik's biggest bomb is his right hook, right? What's open when you're throwing a rear hand left uppercut? Your fucking chin.
That's an excellent breakdown, Mr. Doyle. Yeah, that's something.
I think it's a recipe for disaster. Or Ngannou absolutely murders him. If I had to put my life on it, I'd probably bet Ngannou. But for the sake of our picks, I'm picking Jairzinho Rozenstruik by KO in the first or second round.
I think you've raised a couple of very interesting points there. I feel like Rozenstruik, coming into this fight is it's very similar to Ngannou's rise, where he was just fucking murking everyone, put people to sleep, and I think it's quite interesting. So it's a huge opportunity for both, and the big thing for Ngannou is he's going to be, if he wins this fight, he's going to be silencing a lot of critics, and Rozenstruik gets a huge name under his belt if he wins. So it's a big fight. So
Yeah.
if the two of them do show up and they're similar in how they typically finish fights, and they're both terrifying individuals. So it's almost like the right to to call yourself the kind of the BMF in the heavyweight division.
Yeah.
I'm
Well, think about this, right? Think about this. Cormier and Stipe Miocic is going to happen at some point in the summer, it looks like, right? July or August, okay? If Cormier wins that fight, he retires the belt. The belt has gone away. This person, whoever wins this fight, is in that title fight, 100%. I don't know who's in it with him. Probably Stipe, I guess.
you would imagine. I
Who
mean,
knows?
if for example DC was to beat Stipe by decision, then I would imagine it would be Stipe again. But I mean, if DC comes in and knocks Stipe out again in the second round, then Stipe may take some time off himself, because Stipe's going. Is he going on 38? I think he is. Like, Stipe's pretty old.
I don't know.
Stipe's not young.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go with Ngannou.
Very interesting implication of this fight. But sorry, go ahead.
I'm going to go with Ngannou. I have very little confidence in this, but I'm going with Ngannou via first round KO.
First round KO. Okay.
So we're going completely opposite ways on this. But again, I have zero confidence whatsoever.
You've watched enough MMA now to know that we should never have any confidence in anything expected happening.
This is true. I'm going with Ngannou simply due to the fact that I think if he hits anyone cleanly, I don't think a human brain can withstand that amount of pressure. So that's why I'm going with Ngannou. Not to say Rozenstruik doesn't have similar power, but I think Ngannou just has a little bit more. And as you mentioned, he's got that reach and height advantage, which I think. If he can keep Rozenstruik at range, where he really should, because if Rozenstruik finds a range where he's comfortable with his kickboxing, then it could be an awful night for Ngannou. So, cool. Next up, we got
the co-fucking main fucking event.
We got Triple C and Dominick Cruz. What a fucking! It's a mad fight, isn't it? It's a mad old scrap.
Yeah, it is. I'm still so on the fence about this fight, and well spotted by you. It says he's 18-1 here. He's not. He's 18-2.
Yeah, he's not. He's 18-2. He's lost to
Cody.
Lost to Garbrandt.
Yeah. He might be 18-3. There might be one we're missing there, but anyway, look at his stats. He's I think this Dominick's website needs some work here, UFC. If anyone hears anything.
You got one of the best fighters of all time in the UFC, and his stats aren't fucking right.
So for me here anyway, it's the reach, 68 inches to 64 inches, and the height, 5'8" to 5'4". So when you combine the height differential of 4 inches with that, it's a total differential of 8 inches. We both know how Dominick fights. It's very long, very in and out. So that 8 inches is probably more. It's probably 10. I'm giving Dominick way more credit than most here. I've seen him do it before. If the Dominick Cruz that fought TJ Dillashaw at that time shows up on Saturday, I think he has an incredibly good chance of beating Henry Cejudo, because he is a stylistic matchup. Nightmare matchup for Cejudo. Cejudo's tiny.
Even how he fought against Garbrandt. I mean, Garbrandt just put on an absolute masterclass in that, but we've seen since that Garbrandt's issues are how reckless he is and how he gets hit in the chin, and like Cruz isn't known for knocking people out. So, that was Garbrandt is still very, very good, but he's just been reckless, after he won the belt, which just led to him getting sparked out how many times now. But it was interesting. I saw TJ Dillashaw, who's fought both men, talk about this. And he strongly favors Cruz. Now that could be a bit of butthurt that he just got slapped by Cejudo. That could be an element of that. But look, I think if anyone beats Cejudo, particularly with the run he's on, I think Cruz is a very, very good man to do it. But Cejudo's been active. He's beaten. The list of people that he's beaten now consecutively is there's you can't look past that, and people hate on Cejudo because of the level of cringe, but like he's damn good. Like he's very, very good.
Yeah, but he's
Everywhere.
very, very small.
Yeah.
5'4" is tiny at bantamweight. He's the champion, I know, but he didn't have to come up the ranks in bantamweight. You know what I mean? He didn't have to constantly fight bigger boys, longer boys. Official pick, I'm going with Dominick Cruz by decision. I'm going to pick him because I've got a sneaking suspicion he could do it. And if I lose, I don't mind giving myself a handicap because I'm going to fucking smoke your fat ass anyway.
Yeah. Oh fuck! I'm ready. This main card is just toss up after toss up, isn't it?
It's incredible.
Aside from Kattar and Stevens is the only one so far that I'm very confident in Kattar. You know, there's still a decent chance that Stevens can do it, but you know, with this one, for example, like I don't care. You know, Cruz, like he said when he came back, he was like, "There's no such thing as ring rust." You know, he's so mentally strong and proved it exactly. He's so mentally strong that I can't see that being an issue whatsoever. I think I've got Cejudo. I'm going with Cejudo decision. That's what I'm going with.
I think if Cejudo wins, it's going to be by KO. I think he's going to crack him, and he'll knock him out. That's what I think. If Cejudo wins,
no one's ever knocked Cruz out though.
I know, but he's now 36 and light and has been dropped many times by Cody Garbrandt and so on and so forth. And Henry has got some fucking bombs. But like the reason I think that is because Henry has to get inside, right? So he has to fly forward to get at him. So he's got a lot of momentum coming anyway, and he's very good at punching going forward, as you've seen with Mighty Mouse Johnson. What was your man's name that he KO'd at flyweight? Hayes, is it? Before he got his rematch with Mighty Mouse. Even his fight with Marlon, like Marlon was destroying him with leg kicks from the outside. He only started having success when he got on the inside, but he couldn't get on the inside because Marlon was much bigger and longer than him. But when he did, he had to fly in there. When he's coming in, he's coming in faster. So I think he's kind of maximizing his chances of chaos. And if you've seen him, he's got wings, man, out to here. So I reckon he's got some power. But
I think he, you know, it's another good point you make because he highlighted in that fight with Moraes. You know, he made huge adjustments in between rounds. You know, he lost the first round quite comfortably, came back, listened to his coaches immediately, got inside that range. He pretty much nullified the leg kicks that Moraes was using to keep Cejudo, you know, at that distance where he was comfortable. Cruz, I mean, can he do that against Cruz? I think there's a strong chance. You know, I think he can get inside, and I think if he gets inside, there's also a strong chance that he can get him down and keep him there.
Yeah.
I mean, no one's really been able to do that to Dom, but yeah, I'm going with Cejudo decision.
Cejudo decision. Okay. Yeah, for me, there's kind of like when there's like big fights that I really get excited for. It's usually for like one of a couple of different reasons, right, within MMA. So, for example, the main event which we're about to talk about, I'm excited about that because
Tony fucking and Justin Gaethje.
You broke the fucking internet. You shouted about. I'm excited for that fight because of the level of violence I expect to come out of that fight. Right. I'm equally as excited for this fight, and I don't expect anywhere near the level of violence out of this fight as I do the main event, or even the Cade or Jeremy Stevens scrap. But this is just an absolute chess match of styles, body shapes, sizes, personalities, MMA minds. This is just a fascinating main event.
Like you're dead, like they're just two of the most contrasting figures that you can get. You know, mindset wise, how they carry themselves, like they fight so much more differently. You know, that's a very good point. And I think, you know, when you kind of introduced me to the sport, you know, how many years ago now, like that was one of the things you said, like styles make matchups. You know, it's not records, it's the styles, and this is, you know, it's one person who's exceptionally good at doing this against somebody who's exceptionally good at doing something else, and then you put that together, and it's like who's the better of what they've mastered. So that's going to be a lot of fun.
Yeah, I personally prefer when they pair a high violence fight with a high strategy fight. Like an example of when they've put high violence and high violence before is the night they did Max and Poirier and Adesanya Gastelum, right? That was two extremely violent fights, and the co-main event got completely overshadowed. Max and Poirier was an amazing fight because the co-main event was so good. So I think this is going to be more of a Floyd Mayweather-esque dance, but a very interesting one. And then we're going to have the absolute fucking bloodbath opposite in the main event. So let's get to it. Let's talk about it. Let's go. Where are the stats?
Oh God. Well, we can definitely confirm that the UFC stats are wrong anyway. But fuck. This fight is just, oh God, just let it fucking last more than, like, I think I will break down in tears, genuinely break down in tears if Tony loses in the first round. Not by any means do I think that's going to happen, but it could very well happen because Gaethje's a fucking animal. God damn it. Like, this is fucking, this crap. My God.
Justin Gaethje, 86% by KO. And one
I think that's actually correct too.
That is correct, yeah. Look, 8.5 significant strikes landed per minute. How's Tony's absorption? They're pretty low. Look at the amount of shots that Gaethje absorbs per minute, man. 10.23.
We briefly chatted about this, but I think, there's a lot that can be said for those statistics. Usually I think statistics are absolutely dog shit when it comes to, like, talking about an MMA fight, because it's like, you can get hit 40 times in a round and land one clean strike and you win. Yeah. So it doesn't really matter all that much. But Tony's output is absurd. Like, as a norm, he is so far above that. He throws more strikes than 99% of the entire UFC roster. And then you've got a man who gets hit a fuck ton. And everyone keeps talking about these, like, adjustments that Gaethje's made. And it's like, oh, he's more patient now. But they're talking about that. And he's coming off of 2 first-round knockouts. So, like, how do you know if he's more patient or not? You know what I mean? Like, because he hasn't jumped over or jumped on top of somebody? Like, I don't really get why people are making that comparison. Not comparison. They're making, or where they're getting that kind of analysis of.
Yeah,
I really don't.
It is odd. You raise a good point.
Like, he's coming, like, he beat Barbosa in 2.5 minutes, and then he stopped Cerrone late in the first or something like that. And I think, like, people are saying, oh, he looks so much more composed because he didn't run out the gates to beat Cerrone. But it's like, we saw 1 round. So, like, while he may not have come out as quickly as he usually does, you can't really judge 2 first-round knockouts.
3.
Be a lot more patient. 3. I'm more referring to him beating Cerrone and Barbosa in his last 2.
And Vic before that, James Vic.
Oh, God damn it. That was amazing.
KO. Yeah.
Oh, God. Well, it wasn't even that. It's just more like James Vic is such an asshole that it was funny.
There goes my invitation to him for coming.
Yeah, exactly. I feel like that's, and look, it's not to say that Gaethje hasn't made adjustments. I'm sure he has. I'm sure he was like, I probably can't sustain my career getting hit as much as I do. So I'm sure he probably will be a little bit more patient. But when Tony's in his face, if Tony's not going to be patient, Tony's one of the quickest starters the UFC's ever seen. So if Gaethje gets hit that much, like, he can't withstand that for 5 rounds. At the same time, how often, with Tony coming forward as much as he probably will, that leaves the door open for him getting hit as well. And Gaethje has more power. So, how does Tony's chin hold up? Particularly with fucking cutting weight twice and, recently traveling. So yeah, it's another one. Like, I don't think this is a toss up. I'm slightly favoring Tony, but
I think it's very slight.
Still close. Like, it's
Yeah,
still a fucking
it's a
very close fight.
I think it's close enough to a coin flip. I'm very tempted to pick Gaethje by KO, and I'm still not undecided. I'm very tempted to pick him just. So I think it's a likely thing to happen. If this was like if 100% is the total odds, I'd go 55% Tony,
Yeah.
45% Gaethje. That's where I am right now with this
I
fight.
think I'm 60-40 for Tony, but I that varies. There's been times where I'm like, this is 50-50. You know, they're both very similar. They're not really, because Tony is so much more unorthodox. You know, and Gaethje can be a little messy at times, but yeah, it'd be interesting to see if we see the wrestling side. You know, it'd be interesting to see if
Right,
Gaethje
so
brings. Neither do I. I don't think so for a second, but yeah, I think we also talked about this on previous podcasts, but it's tough for me because I want Tony to win so much, but I love Gaethje. You know, like I love Gaethje. I'm a huge
same.
fan of him.
Yeah,
Like, how
I'm
can
the
you
exact
not be a
same.
fan of him? And I want him to lose. Like don't want Gaethje to win. And that's it's weird dynamic. I've never really had that before. I've liked two fighters so much that I'm like sad to see one lose. You know, really, I don't think I've actually ever experienced that before.
Yeah. Well, it's look, it's you're emotionally invested. That's what you want. You know what I mean? You want to be watching a fight that you care about both of them. You're like, fuck, like, I really think that Tony deserves this fight with Khabib, so I really want him to win for mainly that reason alone. If it wasn't for that, I'd probably be 50-50. I wouldn't really care who'd win and who'd lose.
Yeah.
I'd just be excited for the fight. But the what's on the line and what's going to happen for the winner and the loser, right? What, you know, they go complete opposite directions career wise. That just makes it so much more intense.
Well, I
So look,
think it's a bigger deal for Tony though, because he's 36. You know, like
yeah.
as
Gaethje's
much as I
younger.
think he can keep going, like age catches up to everyone at some point. So you know, that's kind of, it's more just how much the man deserves it. You know, 12-fight win streak in one
Yeah,
of the most stacked divisions the UFC has probably ever seen. You know, it's unheard of. You know, and like if he makes it 13 and then he gets Khabib. I mean, if he beats Gaethje and then beats Khabib, like he's top 5 greatest of all time.
yeah. Fact.
I don't think you can argue with that.
So on that, right? Money where your mouth is. Who wins this fight and how does it end?
Fucking hell.
So
I'm gonna go with
for the record, right? If you go Tony then KO, and Gaethje wins by KO, you get the 3 points for the KO, but you don't get the 3 points for Tony.
Oh, okay. Right, I'm going.
The method is separate. It's not specific to the fighter.
I'm gonna go with. Oh God, I'm gonna go with Tony. I'm going with Tony. How? I have fucking no idea. I'm just. Yeah. Again, this is very. I think he stops him in the 4th.
Yeah, I was saying that as well. Someone else said that to me today. Who was I talking to today? And they were saying the 4th. I think Stephen O'Brien. Yeah, it was.
I got
he was
Tony
like,
in
yeah,
the
the
4th.
4th. By what? Submission.
I have no idea. No
Well, you pick
idea.
something. It can't be decision if it's in the 4th.
I've toyed with stopping him, not a knockout, but a TKO. I think, you know, pressure could get to Gaethje. He kind of folds and Tony gets a stoppage. Then I've also toyed with the idea of Tony gets hurt or somehow finds himself on his back. You know, pulls Gaethje into his guard and somehow locks something up. You know, I don't know.
Come on, make your decision.
All right,
You will.
TKO.
TKO. Okay, I'm going Justin Gaethje KO inside 2.
Holy shit! All right, we're going completely different ways on this card. I like it.
Yeah, I kind of fuck it. Might as well mix it up. And if I'm 3-0 down, I'll catch you in it because you're shit. So.
Fuck it. Keep in mind what's on the line here, bro.
Yeah, I mean, it is what it is. Let's blast through some. Let's blast through some of the remaining cards. Some notable fights in the remaining card. We don't have to go through the whole thing, but there's a fairly obvious one here as the main event in the prelims. I mean, 2 fairly well-known characters here, and Donald Cerrone, who's currently 6th ranked, but he's coming off a 3-fight losing streak. So he's the 6th ranked lightweight contender, but hasn't won a fight in a while now. Has been fighting top level competition, but finds himself on.
Well, you say he hasn't won a fight in a while, but I'm pretty sure it was just over a year ago. He just fights that much that you forget about it.
True.
Yeah,
But
I mean, we were fortunate enough to see Cerrone put that beating on Aleksei Hernandez live, and I was fortunate enough to get a "Let's Go Cowboy" chant going. You remember that?
Yeah, I do.
That was a fucking lot of fun that night. Yeah, I think.
But he's coming off 3 knockout losses in a row.
Yeah,
that's what I'm saying, right? So he's ranked number 6. Yeah, okay, looks good. But 3 KO losses in a row or TKO losses in a row. Now Anthony Pettis isn't much better himself. He's 2-1 in his last 3. I think he's 7-7 in his last 14. So
I feel like Pettis is. I feel like Pettis has also had a lot of shit luck, where he's got like hurt in, while in a fight. You think about him and Tony, that was a fucking great scrap until the hand issue, and then it was called off.
That is what worries me about Tony's chances against Justin Gaethje. Justin Gaethje is a fucking bomber compared to Anthony Pettis.
Yeah.
He's a way higher finish rate, and he hits more. He hits more and he hits harder. Pettis only took Tony out. That's what makes me nervous.
Yeah.
If it happens, it happens. I think Gaethje's a great fight for Khabib, so I won't be too upset if it does happen. But I do want Tony to win.
I will cry. I'll literally record myself crying if Tony loses that fight. If it's a 5-round fucking barn burner and he loses a decision or something, I'll probably cry out of emotion for the love of what I've just seen. But if he loses like via KO in the first or second round, I'm literally going to break into tears. So this one again, another fucking toss-up. I have no idea which way to go on this one.
It's not the main card, so we're not technically speaking making picks, but I expect it to be a decision. Excuse me. I expect it to be a slow enough kickboxing decision, and I expect Cerrone to edge it. That's what I'm.
Really? Wow. That's.
But it's not an official pick. I don't see this getting finished. I think they've both taken so much damage that they're both hesitant. Especially Pettis, and he's the more dynamic finisher of the two, or at least used to be. So I don't think this is going to be the amazing fight it's hacked up to be. It'll be okay. It'll be good. It'll be a good watch. It'll be a decent kickboxing affair, but it'll be like a Masvidal, what's his name, Stephen Thompson type affair. Good kickboxing match, tight, but not going to blow you away.
I'm going the complete opposite way. I think this is going to be over quick. I think it's a good opportunity for. Neither of them are elite anymore. Do you know what I mean? And that's all they've already faced, and that's the losses they're coming off. So I think this is a really good opportunity for both to showcase, like, I'm still here. I'm still fucking competitive. I'm still a good fighter. Anyone who knows anything about the sport knows these two are both very fucking good. But I think they'll both be trying to make a statement. I think this is going to get bloody, really, really bloody. I've got Cerrone. I'm going with him. I think he finishes Pettis.
We'll see. It's a very interesting one. There's one final fight that I feel is worth mentioning. You've been talking about this week, and you've got me very excited for it. But I'd like to just look at Oleinik here as well. Look at the fucking head on him.
Look how friendly he looks.
It looks like a moose just eating grass. Just look.
Looking for Werdum doesn't even have a fucking. That looks like it's been photoshopped onto his body. Yeah, it's blurry as fuck. Like, come on, UFC! Fucking hell! I thought our editing was bad. This is terrible.
That's a photo of Fabricio Werdum from 1996, and they photoshopped the shorts onto him.
So some crazy stats. They're both 42 years old, which is fucking insane. I never associate Werdum with age. Although he's been around for such a long time, he never. Like Oleinik looks like a dad of 6 children. Werdum still looks like a fucking scary fucker. Yeah, I pray that fight goes to ground, because it's a grappler's fucking dream matchup.
Yeah.
It's so, like, you're talking about a second degree jiu-jitsu black belt in Werdum, who's never been submitted, against a guy who literally only wins via submission. So, like, that dynamic alone, this is the first fight where it's two people with the exact, or not exact, but such a similar skill set, particularly when it goes to ground. Although it's different styles. Yeah, I'm very, very excited to watch that fight. I'm going to be betting on Oleinik to win via submission in the second round. Not because I have any confidence in that, but because he's like plus 800 to finish Werdum in the second round via submission. And again, that's the only way he's going to win. I feel like.
I can't imagine a scenario where Oleinik. No, I can't. I can't see Werdum getting submitted. I saw Werdum submit Walt Harris today, right? I don't know if you remember that. Yeah. Fuck me, man. Werdum just runs out, hits the single leg, dunks him on his back, on his back, takes his back, slides to an armbar and submits him and jumps up all in about 90 seconds. Let's not forget here as well, something I thought about during the day today, and I was like, oh yeah, Fabricio Werdum is a former heavyweight world champion, and he's only like 3 fights removed from the belt, and he's on the fucking prelims, bro. But it's because he got banned for 2 years for I don't know, doing something very illegal, some steroids or something. Assumably.
I can't remember what it was, but yeah, how can you not remember that? Remember, Kane shot for a double leg, and
it's about to say something terrible, but I won't.
Werdum sunk that guillotine in. Like, I've never seen a guillotine locked in. Like, he was working it while Kane had scooped him, right? And both of Verdum's legs were in the air, and you could see him sink in the guillotine in. It was a thing of fucking beauty, and like, I loved Velasquez at that time.
Same. That's like one of the last fights that I got really upset about.
Yeah.
Like, I was like, because I used to watch fights, and then the person I liked lost, I'd be like, oh, well, I wouldn't be like upset about it, but I'm like, fuck's sake, like, I don't like Werdum as a champion. He annoys me, whatever. Yeah. Now I just appreciate what happens for what happens, I think. You know what I mean? I don't really, if there's like Cejudo annoys me, right? I don't care. He's fucking brilliant, right? And he's champion right now. He's class. He deserves it. You know, if Cruz beats him, cool. I prefer Cruz, yeah, but it doesn't matter. You know what I mean? I'm trying not to get emotionally invested in it anymore and just appreciate it for the spectacle it is. But at that time, I was like, fuck you, Werdum. I loved Kane. All I wanted was Kane. Yeah.
Yeah, so man. I mean, for the Oleinik and Werdum fight, if Werdum keeps standing up, he has such a massive advantage in the striking. He's a black belt to Muay Thai, and a lot of people forget about that because he doesn't. Everyone knows him as the grappling specialist, but he can still fucking bang. He
KO'd Mark Hunt,
and still relatively technical for a heavyweight. Like, he doesn't look he looks a little bit sharper. I mean, he also hasn't finished anybody for a long time now. I think it's like 4 years since he's finished someone with strikes.
Yeah.
So, that obviously kind of stands in Oleinik's favor. But if Oleinik doesn't get it to ground, then he just gets dominated, and that's a very, very comfortable decision with Werdum. I hope that they almost have like, yeah. But yeah, as I said, for anyone who wants to make money, yeah, you're probably not going to. You're probably gonna waste money with this bet. But the odds of Oleinik submitting Werdum in the second round are outrageous, and I don't know why. I mean, I have no confidence in that whatsoever. It's just like, I'm
not feeling particularly confident today, are
you? No, honestly, I've fucking no idea how to call these fights. I really don't.
Yeah, there's a lot of flips. Biggest favorite on the card is Ryan Spann versus Sam Alvey.
Oh yeah,
ever heard of Ryan Spann?
That's right, dude. Ryan Spann's a fucking animal. He's won his last 7 in a row, 6 of them via knockout. He is going to kill Sam Alvey.
Maybe I know him. Maybe I know him to see.
Sam Alvey he's lost 3 in a row, and he had like pretty much. I think he wins like 70% of his fights by decisions, and most of them being split decisions. So yeah, Ryan Spann is most likely going to put Alvey out cold in the first round. That's a That's a write-off, that fight. I feel
That's a
bad
nice
for
way.
Robbie.
It's a good way to kick off the night, man.
Yeah.
Someone out cold. I swear to God, I didn't realize how much I missed these fights. Like
No.
the routine for me is horrendous watching them here in fucking Ireland, right? It's just I'm in the wrong country to be a fan of MMA. Even I was talking to Gary Rourke. Shout out to Gork. He's listening down in Australia. He's probably our only Australian listener. Maybe Byron Trainer. We might have a few down there. But Gork was saying that the fight started at 10 a.m. Sunday morning in Australia. I was like, oh, like live. I was like, oh my God,
Could
imagine
you
getting up
imagine
and
how nice
just
that would
making
be?
breakfast. What?
Do you imagine how nice that would be? Yeah,
Oh, well,
you
fuck
get
you, man. You're in America. What time does it start for you? Like 6 or something, 6 p.m. Or
yeah,
they're
seven,
designed for
seven.
you motherfucker.
Oh yeah, no, I know. But I mean, it's still like, I mean, not that I'm ever going to fucking miss a second of it, but there's still times where, if there's any delays or that, if a number of fights go the distance, like I'll be watching the last fight at 1:30 in the morning, which like, it's not bad, but it's not ideal either, Could you
It's
imagine
hard.
imagine
Half
like,
6 for me.
yeah. But imagine us in fucking Australia getting up at that time. We drink the whole day. We then fucking go out and fucking, do whatever we want. And that would be unreal.
The only thing is, I was thinking about it. I was like, fuck me, that'd be the only reason I'd move to Australia. But I'd have to take all the Mondays off because I'd booze up on the Sunday, just be drinking bottles. I'd have to take all the Mondays off. I'd use all my holidays because there's 46 events a year. I only get
Yeah.
20 days holidays, so I have 20 days
Um,
over and then 20 days off and no holidays.
There's another, speaking of big odds, Esplaza is favored to beat Waterson, which I found very strange.
Wrestler, definitely. I'm definitely favoring her. She's a wrestler, and she's bigger than her. Waterson's undersized. Yeah, Carlos Barza wins by decision. Wrestle fuck.
I think I've got something I think Waterson has 8 submission victories. So like
against tiny women in a different promotion. She hasn't won once by submission in the UFC, I don't think.
Still relevant, I feel.
All right, Michelle. Your submissions over your fucking dog don't count, right? Carlos Barza's gonna wrestle fuck you.
Didn't she? No, she beat Van Zandt with a rear naked choke, right? Or an armbar, something like that. I'm pretty sure.
I don't know. Paige Van Zandt knows the fuck out of me, so I don't pay too much attention.
Oh god, I fucking can't stand her anymore. I thought she was like the sweetest, like cutest little thing when she came, and she is just the most annoying fucking like thirsty bitch I've ever encountered. Like it's just like enough. Like we get it. You and your fucking husband are walking around naked. Like no one cares. Like you're not funny. Just stop it.
What are you giggling, you freak? Or Googling, you freak? What are you? Look at the head in you.
I'm not Googling anything. What are you talking about? I'm looking at you.
Looking at me, are you? Why are your eyes going?
I am Googling. Oh fuck no, she didn't. She
we've had this conversation off air. You can't be looking up porn while we're trying to do a podcast. Like, I mean, it's only a fucking hour a week, and you're just.
Well, I was actually looking up Van Zandt and Waterson, and I was right. She submitted Van Zandt in the first round, but that's actually not that fight. Actually, wasn't
Van Zandt's fucking shite. That doesn't count either. I'd submit Van Zandt in the first round. No, I wouldn't. I wouldn't.
Yeah, but I mean that's it. That fight when you see the two of them just next to each other, it's not that far away from porn. So you weren't that far off with your statement. But yeah, so I'm definitely picking Waterson in that fight. I don't see. I think Esparza has typically had struggles against.
Hey, let's because we're going opposites. Let's add that to the list just for this week.
All right, I'm down with that.
All right.
Who have you got? Now, here's one for you. Who have you got between Uriah Hall and Jacare? That's another one I'm very interested in seeing, and two very contrasting styles.
I just don't think Uriah Hall's ever really cracked it mentally. I think Jacare probably beats him. If Uriah Hall wins, it's by KO, and he definitely can because Jacare is getting old, man.
Yeah,
and he's been KO'd a few times recently, but.
Well, my pick is Uriah Hall for that exact reason. I think the article that I wrote on the prelims, went into that. And obviously Jacare, if he gets hauled down, you would expect it's probably going to be over. I think Uriah Hall's takedown defense is probably better than most will give him credit for, though. And he has so many tools at his disposal that he can use to knock Jacare out. And I think he should. This is a great opportunity for him to come out and showcase his striking ability, particularly against an aging Jacare. It's not Jacare's far from his prime right now. I think this could very well be definitely one of his last, if not his last fight, particularly if he loses.
Yep, he's getting there. He's getting there years wise. It could be. What?
He's 40.
He's what?
He's 40 years old.
40. All right. I don't know what you were saying. 40 years old. Fuck yeah. Okay, he's getting there. Yeah, there's. If you add Oleinik, Jacare, and Werdum together, they're like 124 years old or so.
That's fucking high level grappling, though, isn't it? Could you imagine putting the three of them together? Oh my god.
Yeah,
that's terrifying.
Yeah. Anyway, brother, well, look at we got a crazy card. We're gonna drop our next podcast on Sunday, where we're gonna look back at UFC 249. Talk about the results, which I'm about ready for, and then we'll look forward to Wednesday night's card, which is headlined by Glover Teixeira and Anthony Smith.
There's one more.
I've taken the Thursday off.
There's one more fight though that you're forgetting about. We've chatted about this.
UFC 249.
Yeah, 249. Rosa and Mitchell.
Yeah.
So that, for our viewers, Rosa he's underdog in that, which is baffling to me. Absolutely baffling.
Mitchell's got hype because of the Ben Askren comments to or Maxwell. That's what he's better known. You got to remember, odds are done on how well people are known, not who's expected to win. For example, Brock Lesnar was a big favorite over Cain Velasquez.
Yeah. I mean, look.
It's where the stupid what's it called? It's where the stupid casual money goes. It's casual.
Rosa has fought Bosniak. He's fought Yair Rodriguez, and he's got another. Who else has he fought?
Coronavirus, and this Saturday he's gonna fight Bryce Mitchell.
Doesn't matter anyway. He's a high level jiu-jitsu black belt, and
Rosa is.
Yeah, Rosa is, and Mitchell is a submission specialist. So.
Rosa's going to kill him then.
Yeah, he's going to have a hard fucking time, and Rosa can bang too. So I cannot. I mean, he's coming off that twister, and it's only the second twister we've ever seen inside the octagon. So obviously, there's going to be a lot of hype behind him. And look, I'm excited for Mitchell because he's young. He's 25. Like he was the guy that fucking finished and said, "Just let me wear my camo shorts." So he seems pretty funny. There's a lot to like about him, but at the same time, Rosa has fought way better competition. I think his stand-up is far better, and he's also somebody that Mitchell is not going to have his way with on the ground. So I just, again, for anyone who wants to put money on that, I would 100% put money on Rosa. That for me, again, is another, in a card full of a lot of very, very close contests, that for me, I think Rosa is clear favorite in that.
Yeah. Yep, I agree. I can't disagree with anything much with anything you just said. Rosa has a decent defensive wrestling game, very good submission game, and decent stand-up, whereas Bryce Mitchell has good submission game, unproven stand-up. So let's say it could be a rough one.
It's unproven. I'm excited to see what he does on his feet because we haven't really seen too much. And I mean, credit to him. He fights to his strengths. So, he may be very good in the feet. We just haven't really seen it yet. I mean, from the glimpses we've seen, it doesn't look like a problem. It doesn't look like Dylan Dennis. But, I think when you're going up against somebody and your kind of main threat is or your main kind of option to finish somebody is by submission, and he's a black belt in jiu-jitsu, you're going to have a hard time doing that. So, anyway, brother, yes, we fucking finally have some fights to look forward to. So, Thank you for tuning in, folks, and best of luck. Hopefully you make some money, and hopefully you have more confidence in picking fights than both of us seem to do. Probably more so myself, but
I'm
yeah,
confident.
we got a lot to look forward to.
Yeah, it's gonna be an extremely violent weekend. I hope everyone gets their fill of blood on Saturday night, Sunday morning, wherever in the world you are, and hopefully you've enjoyed this podcast, and we will see you on Sunday. Peace.